welcome to another update on MarkTwainZephyr.com. Also, our Facebook and Twitter pages at Mark Twain Zephyr. I'm Robert Taborn, Director of Passenger Development for the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. And thank you for joining us here on Super Bowl Sunday. Yes, it is February the 7th, 2021. And yes, it is very, very cold here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. It is 9 below zero. Yes, very cold after we had some snow on Thursday. Going down, I think, tonight to 23 below zero. So, how about that? But despite the cold, our workers are warm inside the cars of the Mark Twain Zephyr, and we got some great updates to share with you right now. Let's first send it to our off-shop location about 7 miles away, and that's where our operations manager, Nick Turnetti, has an update for you on some of the wheels and trucks. Take it away, Nick. Right?
Yeah, so last time you came out to the shop, these were the two trucks that we were working on. We've stripped all of the brake rigging off of them. We've removed all of basically the little parts that are going to wind up going through our bead blaster inside, and we've moved them out. And the biggest thing that's different about them right now, obviously, is we've removed the bolster, which was the centerpiece that sat right here.
Okay.
And you can actually kind of get a look at the spring packs, which are essentially we talked a little bit about this last time. The spring packs have done their duty by the law and are ready for renewal.
Is that the 40-year what we talked about last time? They should be good for 40 more years.
Yes, part of the 40-year truck program, as I understand it, is you go through and check all of your leaves. For most equipment that's running out behind Amtrak, I think essentially if you don't have broken springs after a period of time, you probably have not gotten out much. So you check the springs to make sure they're complete. In our case, because they've sat for 60 some years, and they've I don't know if it's been mentioned before, but all of the trucks were underwater at least once.
Yes, we have some lovely photos of that at Manuka, Illinois.
Yeah, when they were in Manuka, and I think again at least possibly at Gateway, some of them are underwater again. The everything has not fared as well as it could have. So essentially, we're assuming that all of the spring packs in there are going to need to be replaced.
Okay.
So the interesting thing at this point is we found that there are two different styles of spring pack in these trucks. There's one that's a locomotive style, and you can kind of tell by the ends which one you're dealing with. There are a couple locomotive style ones, and then there's some passenger style ones. The spring packs are going to be replaced by, I believe, a company down in the cities.
Oh, okay.
So we sent them patterns. We sent them, complete examples that have no broken leaves, so they can, create their own versions thereof. And when they come back, we'll be able to repack them and put them in the trucks. But in the meantime, essentially, once we lose a little bit more snow, and also once we complete the other 3 non-powered trucks, we'll have them all together out here. We can actually do them all at once. They have to be lifted off their wheels, and then the drop equalizer and the swing hanger will have to come off. The springs will come out, and the whole thing, all of them will be sandblasted basically. Okay. And once they've been sandblasted, we can go ahead and actually scan them. We can die check them and make sure that there are no cracks or any other defects with the cast frames, which is most of what you see here. And once that's all said and done, you actually get a certificate that says these trucks have been checked in accordance with the requirements of a 40-year truck rebuild. Wow. And that piece of paper then is your verification if we're ever able to take this thing and go traveling offline, you can say we've had a 40-year truck rebuild done.
And that's one of the major things they're looking for?
Yes, it's one of the, obviously, where the wheels hit the road, so to speak, is kind of what many people are most concerned about, when it comes to trying to make sure everything is up to another railroad standards or Amtrak standards or whoever you happen to be working with.
Wow.
So these are, the numbers on them are essentially more just so that I can keep track of where all the parts inside go. So this was the first truck we did. This is the second truck we did.
Those are new numbers on there.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are my Hasty Strong. These are essentially what the leaf springs look like when they came out of truck number 2. I mean, there really was not a whole lot to work with. But these are like the end guards. So if you look at essentially all of the leaves in there, if you look, they have kind of like a little tab on them, and the tabs actually fit in these slots, and that's what holds the whole thing together.
Okay.
So, and then this we had talked about at one point in time. This is the bolster. So this is that little cup where the car body sits in, and it's actually just sits inside the casting on this kind of rubber plywood thing that sort of provides cushioning and a damper for the bolster truck connection. So,
wow.
So we can head inside and we can show you what we're working on now.
All right.
And here we are back in the shop, and this should look quite familiar as we have another truck in the process of teardown.
Is this a different one than we saw 2 weeks ago when we checked it?
Yes, this is one of the ones that was sitting out next to the shop. I think last Thursday we pulled them inside. We did the big swap.
Okay.
So again, we've already got this half, mostly brake rigging removed. We just got some stabilizers and a couple other bolts on this half to do. And we're starting to dig into this axle. We'll be able to take off the other brake piston here in a little bit as well.
Wow.
And
those are those springs again you were talking about.
Yep, so this is the leaf spring pack.
Springs.
Yep.
Okay.
They're usually a pack of 3, except for the next one, which we'll talk about in a moment. But this is that clip that holds them together.
Okay.
So, and then you can actually see the tab right here. They slide in to each one, and that's just basically what locks the thing together.
Okay.
But this is kind of the oddball.
Oh.
Because this is the truck.
It looks a lot different.
Yep. This is the truck that was underneath the Tom Sawyer's observation. And because of that, all of the other trucks, are split between 2 cars, so they have
articulated.
They have the pair of stabilizers up here.
Yeah.
This one just has a single one, and because there's there wasn't, a need to have as much support because you're only supporting one half of one car.
Yeah.
The truck is actually physically smaller. You're gonna when you get a chance to look at them.
And you can kind of versus.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And the brake pistons are inside of it, which makes it a real pain in the butt to actually have to service them. So we're doing all that we can right now, but you can see like the brake linkage system is far more complex than the other one was. But oddly enough, I think this truck would probably be the one that's in the best shape. It doesn't seem to have near as much surface rust or corrosion to it the way the other ones.
It only has 2.
Yep,
versus
because
the 3.
because it's holding up less weight.
Okay.
Only needed a 2-pack, and this is actually the other style where you have a pin that goes through and the leaves wrap around it. So we'll standardize on one or the other. And so
that's the last one then of.
Well, no, this is the last one on property. We have the 5th one that's currently under the rear end of the Injun Joe down at the depot.
That's right. Are you gonna have to get that out?
Yep, in a couple weeks.
Oh.
We'll probably bring the Kershaw crane back down there. We'll block up the baggage end of the 9903, and then we'll bring that truck up here, and that'll be the last one that we go through. So,
all right.
But this one I think is going to take more than 1 pallet per half axle to hold all the parts. There's a lot here.
You're still not going to let me play with the bead blaster, are you?
No.
Next time, Nick, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as there's the ability to play with the bead blaster.
All right. I call dibsies. All right. Well, thanks so much. We'll check in with you in another week or so.
Yep, no problem. Catch you later, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Nick. And from our offsite property location, we are here on property, and we're going to send it inside the Huckleberry Finn, where Charlie has a update for us on the kitchen area of the Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah. So the Huck Finn, as we continue to try to bring it up to a customer experience that for the 21st century, while still retaining the charm and that of its original build. As we've talked before, this was a diner that had a kitchen in it, and there's no way for the passengers to safely passage through the kitchen. So that's really what we've been trying to accomplish, is to make way for a safe passage, because we'll have the museum, the movie on the forward portion of the train, and we'll have the coach seating, as it were, behind us here. So there needs to be a way for passengers to pass through.
And this will be it. Back there. All right. So you're working on the making that passage, I guess, here.
Right, and this is the final portion of it. This, if you'll recall, maybe from earlier pictures, has an arch over it.
They came down just like the other side there we're looking at.
Correct.
So you cut away this whole area.
And, it's arched.
Yeah.
So you can see, so the light's not blinding you.
Yeah, we got it.
So we've saved the trim work for the arch, and the goal is to recreate the arch right here. And to have the passageway to get from one end of the train to the other. Right here. So,
And you found some interesting stuff up here. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, there are many types of insulation that we've discovered in this car. And this is horsehair insulation.
Oh, look at that. So that would have been from some horse in 1930.
Right. It's actually in 2 layers.
Oh yeah, you were showing me that earlier.
So this is one of the pieces that came out of the wall, and if you look over here, it looks like, okay, this fits in the wall.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there were 2 layers of this inside the wall. If you look, you can see it really doesn't take that much space. It's rather compact. It's also somewhat combustible.
Why would they have used horsehair versus other types of insulation? Any idea?
In this spot, it's not for really heat control or cold control. You do have the entry doors here.
Yeah.
It's probably more a sound.
Well, no, they used to make mattresses out of it, but it would burn. Somebody said it would burn pretty easy.
Right. The horsehair burns fairly easily, and when we're cutting around it, we try to get all of it out of there before cutting.
Okay.
Just because it is susceptible to burning.
Okay.
But it was a common insulation, fairly cheap. We know about hazards of asbestos now, which was used in a lot of heat areas, but
apparently horsehair.
Yeah, but horsehair
Here on the Huck Finn.
and there's some other fibers in here, some early versions of fiberglass. So they used what they felt was best. Around the refrigerators, there was cork used as insulation. So there are at least 4 different types of insulation used in the car that we've discovered.
And what else did you find out here, real quick? You said the controls to the heat steamer valve. Can we take a look at that?
Yeah, if you remember, this train was steam heated, and you had the generator for all the heat for the cooking, steam tables, and that, and the control box is a rather hefty piece.
No kidding.
And I'll get it out here in the light so you can see it a little better.
Okay.
Now, obviously, this hasn't been cleaned up yet. All the mud wasp.
Oh yeah. Yes, we met them in St. Louis back in July. They're not very friendly critters. So this would have controlled the steam heat. We heard that they might have had one employee who it was his job solely to sit there and control the temperature and all the valves and gauges and everything.
Well, if on a train as specific as this, and this appears to be should be a fairly easy system. There shouldn't have been a whole lot of need to somebody to constantly monitor.
Huh.
But if you had a mechanical person along on the trip to take care of any problems that were encountered en route, they would be handling that.
Perfect.
So that that was a pretty interesting find.
And was there a magazine? You found another magazine or something?
Well, and it's part of the heating system. Apparently, there was a mouse or somebody who thought, well, let's do a little reading. So
it's a nest of something that was.
It's a nest, but with newspaper.
Okay, it's a very educated mouse.
Yes, making sure that they were up to date on the latest things happening.
Yes,
along the
what
way.
President Eisenhower was doing.
Well,
very cool.
Who knows whether that's for you to research as to
all right.
to what year that paper
Oh,
is
good.
from.
I look forward to that. So, well, very cool.
So we're actually almost done working on opening up so that the building crew can come in
Okay.
and put the kitchen back together so it's a functioning kitchen, create the passageway so that we have a safe passageway for the passengers to get from one end of the train to the other. So we're getting to that point.
We'll show them just back here real quick. So that will be the passageway, just so you kind of see it from another angle. You'll go on that side of the counter and then down there, and then that will be the kitchen. So what's next for the crew? They'll be moving on to the Effie Dean.
Right. So the Effie
the
Dean
third car
has and the passageway shifts from this side of the car to the other side of the car and the Effie Dean.
Okay.
So they will be shifting over there next week if this comes apart the way we're expecting it to this afternoon.
Okay. Well, I hope you find
this week, and this is my final week here. So
yes.
I'm actually retiring.
No, who's going to do our updates?
Well, yeah, one of the Lances will take care of you.
Well, congratulations.
Lance.
Congratulations.
I don't know how many Lances we have.
You got to retire because you're not Lance. Well, congratulations and thanks for all your service to the railroad. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Charlie. And we do want to extend our congratulations to Charlie after several years here at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. He is retiring this weekend, so we wish him all the best in his retirement. If you ever rode the dinner train or the bed and breakfast train, Charlie might have been your bartender. So we wish him well, Charlie, in your retirement, and hope you come back and get to ride the Zephyr later this year. So that is all our updates from, where it still is 9 below zero, going down to 23 below zero tonight. I'm Robert Tabern at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. Stay warm. And our next video update, we'll be posting pictures throughout the week. Our next video update will be a week from today, Valentine's Day, the 14th of February. And we're going to go back and visit Nick because he promised me that we will actually get to bead blast. And I guess he's going to show me how to bead blast, and I'll get to clean some of the grime and dirt myself off a couple pieces of the Mark Twain Zephyr. So that will definitely be fun. Next video update, the 14th of February, and we'll throw tons of pictures up over the course of the next week as our hardworking crew here battles the below zero temperatures. Till then, we'll see you later. Have a great week.